Hey Maniacs, welcome to episode 5 of the MAINEiac Radio Show. I'm your host, Tech Sergeant Andy Sinclair with the 101st Public Affairs Office here in Bangor. I hope you all had an outstanding and safe 4th of July weekend celebrating our nation's 240th birthday. Later on, Master Sergeant Bubba Cox from the 101st Civil Engineer Squadron is going to talk to us about energy conservation, something we all know about and may keep in the back of our minds, but may not practice it or think about it on a daily basis. He's going to talk about how we can save money, even if it's just by turning out the light when we leave a room. And as always, I have a brand new MAINEiac fact for you later on in this episode. But before we get into all of that, let's check out your MAINEiac news. The 2016 Diomi Organizational Climate Survey, or DEOCS, is just around the corner, and the Equal Opportunity Office wants you to speak up if change is needed. The DEOCS is a commander-driven anonymous program that replaced the unit climate survey a few years ago and is centralized on allowing airmen to sound off to improve organizational effectiveness. Major Seveny is the Equal Opportunity Director, and she explains why the program is in place.
What it does is it allows leadership to assess our organizational climate and figure out what factors might be impacting the mission. It's actually a very proactive way to get feedback on how things are going so that leadership can actually address those things and make changes.
Once the DEOCS is initiated, MAINEiacs will have approximately 3 months to submit a survey allowing commanders to make appropriate changes within their units, which will increase mission effectiveness and strengthen airman cohesiveness. The survey can be completed at work or from home. Contact the Equal Opportunity Office if you have questions. Members from the 101st Security Forces Squadron had the honor of participating in a funeral service for a former Security Forces member who not only shared a badge and a beret while serving, but was one of the first females in Air Force history to join the rigorous career field. Airman Kinder of Maine joined the Air Force in the late 1970s, shortly after the Air Force begun to allow women in security forces. The service was held on Monday, June 27th, and Staff Sergeant Colby Small of the 101st Security Forces Squadron tells us how the experience made him feel honored.
It was really a humbling experience, actually. Great opportunity to show the face of security forces and how we care about our heritage. It was a great opportunity for me, built on the whole pride aspect of being a security forces member.
Staff Sergeant Small was accompanied by 2 other security forces members and performed as the firing detail for the funeral. And that's it for your MAINEiac news. Keeping you up to date is our mission. Some exciting news from the PA office. We've recently launched the official 101st Air Refueling Wing Instagram page. If you have Instagram, you can get on there, follow our page. Our username is 101st ARW, that's 101STARW. Make sure you get on there, follow our page, and tag us in anything MAINEiac related. Obviously keeping OPSEC in mind, but you guys do amazing things, you see amazing things every single day, and we need to share that amongst other MAINEiacs. So if you take a photo, make sure you tag 101STARW in your photo, and again, providing that it's cleared for OPSEC, we'll retag and reshare your photo on the official 101st Air Refueling Instagram page. Also, we've been talking about it for a few months now, but this weekend is going to be the assumption of command for Colonel Roy, the new 101st Air Refueling Wing Commander. So make sure you plan accordingly for this weekend, and if you see him in person, make sure you congratulate him as he's your new wing commander. With that being said, Lieutenant Colonel Pratt is going to be the new Ops Group Commander, with his assumption of command taking place this weekend as well. Lieutenant Colonel Churchard is replacing Colonel Pratt as the OSS Commander, so make sure that if you see either of them as well, that you congratulate them on their outstanding achievements. We've been talking about Family Day for a few months now. It's finally here. Make sure that if you want to volunteer, you route that through your chain of command for Family Day. But if you want to bring your families out to show them what you do, to show them what the rest of the wing does, bring them out to Family Day. Help celebrate your family and the love and support that they give to the MAINEiac family by bringing them here for Family Day. There will be events, games, food, and tours of different shops.
Holy shnikes!
And again, any questions about Family Day, make sure you route that through your chain of command. And last but not least, if you have a PT test that's due, there's only going to be 1 PT testing this drill. So make sure if you're due up for a PT test, or you will be soon, and you want to test this weekend, you let your leadership know so you get that knocked out. At the beginning of the show, I mentioned Master Sergeant Bubba Cox from Civil Engineering was going to stop by and talk to us today about energy conservation, why it's vital, why it's important to the Maine Air National Guard. So he's come by. He's here now. Master Sergeant Cox, thank you for coming, and thank you for taking time to talk to us today about this.
Well, I appreciate this opportunity. It's a big deal for us to save energy here at Bangor, mostly because we're one of the worst bases in the guard unit for using energy. But we're just trying to reach out there and we're trying to do our part to reduce energy. The military mandates us to do it, and civil engineering reduce it with the LED lightings that you've seen and doing boiler updates. But now we need to reach out and say, hey, can you help us? And that's what we're looking for, to just reach out to the airmen, to change their culture, change their thought on using energy, that it's just not just the government's money they're using, but they're wasting their money. And you know, if we get so bad that we get bracked because of our energy usage, that wouldn't be good for anybody.
You briefly mentioned a little bit about how Bangor is the worst when it comes to energy conservation in our region. Now, when you say the region, are you talking guard wide, or are you talking just the Northeast region?
We're talking just the zone area with the guard. So out of 10 bases, we're number 10 for being worse. Compared to KC 135 units, we're the third worst, just behind Pittsburgh and McGuire.
Wow, so that's pretty crazy. Do you think that one of the reasons why we're the worst is because of our geographical location? I mean, we have a lot of snow, we have harsh winters. Do you think any of that has to do with it?
Definitely it does. When we talk about energy, it's your heating and water as well. Anything that takes energy, but our heating costs and heating usage is huge, and that's probably one of our biggest things that we get nailed for up here in the higher regions of the north.
Okay. What are some things that our airmen, our MAINEiacs, can do to help with that? I mean, you said that you want to get the message out to the airmen, and you want them to start taking this a little bit more seriously, because the general thought process is that they're not being billed personally for our energy consumption. It's the government's money, but it's obviously an issue. So what are some things that our airmen can do?
Definitely. Mostly when we think about the summertime, some of our bigger electrical use is air conditioning in the buildings. But when people leave doors propped open and the air conditionings are using, that's a big waste. Just need to be aware of it, not to open up the windows because you like the fresh air, because those units are on. Be aware, even in the winter times, of leaky windows. Make sure you're telling your building managers that you got problems so we can address them. A lot of things is in your office to use the natural lighting that's coming in. I mean, if you can totally shut off your lights for the whole day, now you're talking a bigger number that we've saved. You know, we could be upward of a couple $1,000s a month if that type of natural light is used. A lot of times our job dictates that we need to open up the hangar wings and dump all that hot air outside. But can we be smarter about how we do our mission? That's some of the questions that really I'm putting out to building managers and even to airmen, if they can find a better way to do their jobs, as far as, hey, wait a minute, I'm totally dumping all this hot air and it's the coldest day of the year. Could we put that plane in, say, tomorrow, or should have we done it yesterday, type of thing? Just really being conscious of how you're doing your job as well, if that makes sense.
There you have it, MAINEiacs. Remember to turn the lights off when you leave an office. Don't turn your AC on if you don't need to. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Energy conservation is a big deal for us right now. And if anything we can do to save money, to save energy, we should take the steps to do that. Master Sergeant Cox, thanks for coming in, and thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you, Sergeant Sinclair. It's been a great pleasure and kind of fun.
Awesome. And it's that time again, MAINEiacs, for your MAINEiac Fact. Today's MAINEiac Fact is brought to you by the 101st Civil Engineering Structure Shop. Structures construct and maintain structural facilities and pavement areas, maintaining pavements, soil bases, performing erosion control, operating heavy equipment, structural and metal fabricating. This is a beneficial career field that allows endless job knowledge to continuously build upon your craft within the military as well as in a civilian career field. I have personally deployed with the civil engineers, and these guys are tough, job knowledgeable, and it's amazing at what they can do. For more information on the Civil Engineering Structure Shop, contact your local recruiter. And here's your MAINEiac Fact. The date is May 11th, 1955, and 2nd Lieutenant Earl Pardee and 2nd Lieutenant Floyd Lovejoy are ending a nighttime flying training mission in their F-89 Scorpion when they came in for an approach to end the exercise. As it came in for an approach 3/4 of a mile from the south end of the runway, it cut a wide 100-foot long swath through the trees. The plane crashed and split the nose in two, but not before ripping off both wings due to the impact of the trees. Both Lieutenants Lovejoy and Party walked away from the crash, but both suffered from back injuries. The explosion from the aircraft crash left Bangor locals finding debris from the aircraft for days, even weeks after the crash happened, including one of the plane's seats found 70 feet from the cockpit. Lieutenant Lovejoy received a soldier's medal for getting Party clear of the wreckage and into safety. So there you have it, Maniacs. What started off as a simple training mission led to an aircraft crash and the heroism of one man to save his wingman's life. And that's all the time we have today, Maniacs, for episode 5 of the MAINEiac Radio Show. I'm your host, Tech Sergeant Andy Sinclair with the 101st Public Affairs Office. Don't forget Family Day and the change of commands are this weekend, so plan accordingly and enjoy the drill weekend. I look forward to seeing you all around base. And feel free to pull me aside and talk to me about ideas that you may have that should be in the MAINEiac Radio Show. We're open for feedback. We want to know what you want to hear, what you want to listen to, and what you want to learn about. Also, look for a brand new newsletter that will be coming out at the end of this week where you can find updates of what's going on in your MAINEiac world. Don't forget to check out our official Facebook page by searching 101st Air Refueling Wing, where you can find photos, news stories, videos, upcoming events, and updates of what's happening in the MAINEiac world. Also, as I mentioned earlier, check out our brand new Instagram page where you can find photos of what's happening around base on a daily basis. And don't forget to hashtag 101st ARW in your Instagram photos so you can share the amazing things that you see every day when you put that uniform on. Again, I hope you all have a great drill weekend. And from everybody at the 101st Public Affairs Office, thanks for listening. And please do not forget to turn out the lights when you leave the room. So long.